Hey, this is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome also. We are back with Here You Try It mystery box swap. Now I got my box from Zana and I'm gonna be showing you what she sent me for me to try. Now here I am just opening the package to unbox what she sent me. Wow, wood. This is going to be very interesting. Now we were tasked to try at least 3 or 2 DIYs that somebody else had done, and they would send you the items that they use for those DIYs, and then you would put your spin on it and retry it or recreate it. So that is why this collaboration is called Here You Try It. Now I just went through what she sent me. And then I'm gonna set these aside because this unboxing was done like maybe weeks before. So I'm gonna set these aside and then we will jump right into how I recreated or even put my own spin on these DIYs. So here we have the first one. DIY number 1 is a church. These pieces of wood, she cut them and sent them, I guess the same size as she had done hers. So what I'm doing here, I'm just tracing out the area that I'm going to be gluing the 2 pieces of board together. And then I took some painter's tape and just cover the areas that I'm going to be gluing together so that after painting, those areas will be easily available for gluing. Then I took some Waverly plaster and gave that 2 coats. And now it's all dry. Now I forgot to leave the top part unpainted because I'm going to be putting something there. And after it was painted, I dried it. And now it's time to trace out my design. So I took a piece of craft stick and I'm tracing out the door. And I also traced out the windows. She didn't put windows on hers, but I decided to do mine that way. And I'm tracing a window at the top of the steeple as well. And then I took some Waverly antique wax and I painted those in. And they are painted. Now it's time to dry that. And then I took a small paintbrush and I'm just painting in the windows and the doorknob. And now it's time to remove the tape. Now I applied Gorilla wood glue, a lot of it on those areas, and a little bit of hot glue, and that's for immediate hold, while the Gorilla glue is for longer lasting hold. And then I put the 2 pieces together and my church is all glued up. No, I'm not done. So I decided to use some craft sticks as the roof. So I took my Midas share and I just measured how long I needed it and cut those down. This part is optional. If you decide to recreate this just like she did not add any roof to hers, but can do that as well. You can paint the roof, you can leave it natural like I did, or no roof at all. And then I just took a little spackle and fill in the gap at the top, and I'm applying some sealant to it. And then I took some of the Waverly wax and just cover that area. And this is my little church. I love it. Now we're moving on to DIY number 2. This one is a toolbox that she did. And these strips of wood, you're going to need that. I also took a piece of dowel that I had picked up Walmart and had in my stash. And for this one, I decided not to use any power tools. She had done this for one of her power tool videos, but I decided to use no power tools just to give you an idea of how you can recreate this just using simple tools that you have. So to get the wood ready, I sanded them down with the sanding block. This piece had a little groove on one side, so that side I had to use as the bottom because of the groove. So now I'm measuring how I need to place my sides down, and I'm also measuring how I need to cut the dowel, because that's going to be fitting at the top. And then I use the miter saw. If you don't have a miter saw, you can use a regular saw. And then I'm just marking where I need to place the sides. These are wire nails that I had in my stash as well. I'd gotten these from the Dollar Tree a few years ago. And after I marked where I need to place the nails, I just use a hammer to just nail them in a little bit. And here I am just showing you how deep the wood is and what the remainder of the nail that's gonna be left. And after I nail them in, I just place that on the floor and then completely nail them so that the other end of the nail can be showing around the other side. So I am nailing the nails at the bottom of the board. And then I flipped it over, and here I'm going to be placing the wood where I had marked where I needed the nails. And now this is where you would need to add a lot of wood glue. So I added a lot of it because this is not drilled and screwed, so you have to add a lot of wood glue to make sure that it holds up properly. And I'm just nailing this to get the wood, the sides, I'm gonna call them the sides from now on. I'm nailing the sides in, and then I took it to place it on the floor again and nailed them in properly. And after I did that, I then took the dowel, add some wood glue and hot glue, and then place at the top where I wanted it. Now, like I said, because it wasn't drilled, I needed to keep it in place long enough so I can finish my project. So I took a piece of twine and just tightly wrapped that around it. And then I added 2 of the nails to finish that part up. And that is now done. So now we're moving on to the next part. Cover those holes and gaps. I took some spackle and covered those, and then I sanded it down. And this is the groove that I was telling you about. So if you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. Where have you been all this time? I'm happy you have decided to join me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, which take the form of dupes, look for less, thrift flips, and sometimes some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. So I took 6 pieces of the wood strips, and as you can see, some of them did not lie very flat. So I selected those that were flat enough, and I'm evenly just placing them on the side. I then use some hot glue as well as wood glue, because you're gonna need that, and evenly glued that on. And I did that to both sides. And here we have it all done. I am in love with this already. So after I was done admiring my little toolbox, I took some Waverly wax and painted the board, or painted the box with the Waverly wax. I painted the box with the Waverly wax, and then I dried off or removed the excess with a baby wipe. And here I went over it with some of the sealant and then removed the twine, and it is done. I absolutely love this box. Let me know what you think. So So now this collaboration is like here you try it, mystery box swap. And this is being hosted by Tammy from Happiness Created. I will leave Tammy's link in the description box below, as well as Zana's links to these DIYs that she created. Now we're on to DIY number 3, or last DIY, and this is the tray. This is one of those wire tray from Dollar Tree. Again, the remainder of the wood strips. So I took one, measured the distance that I needed to fit inside of the tray, and then cut them all down. And then after I evened them out, I took another piece, cut that down, and placed it on one side, and placed another piece on the other side using the wood glue as well as a hot glue. And if you like my content, leave me a comment in the comments down below. I love reading the comments. And if you would like to connect with me outside of YouTube, I have my link tree in the description box below, and there you will find all the links to reach me on social media. So after I glued the pieces on, I then took some clamps or clips or bulldog clips and clamped those on to keep it in place so it could dry properly. And now I moved on to making the handle. Now these beads she sent as well, and I counted them out. I had some of these from Walmart, took 2 large ones, and I placed those in the middle. And then I used some floral wire with some twine, and this is just to make it sturdy or make it stiff. So I wrapped the twine around the floral wire, and then I strung the beads, and here we have 2, and now they're all strung. I measured evenly where I needed to place them on the basket, wrapped the ends around, and then took some more twine to secure it or to stabilize it, and glued the ends down. So now I'm back to the base. I realized that I needed more support at the bottom of it, so I took the last strip of wood that I had, cut it down diagonally, measured where I needed to cut, and cut that down. And then I just glued that on with the wood glue as well as a hot glue, and clamped it down and left it to dry for a little bit. So because it was a little too plain, I decided to use the remaining sealant, a little bit left. So I just mixed a little of the Waverly wax with the sealant and then applied that to the surface. So this serves 2 purposes. I didn't want it too dark, and I also needed to seal it. So there you have it. And our basket is done. Let me know, guys, which one of these projects today was your favorite. I believe they turned out absolutely beautiful. I love them all. And I want to thank Tammy for hosting this challenge, and Zana for giving me the challenge of recreating these projects of hers. Like I said, I will leave the links to her videos in the description box below, as well as the playlist, and also the host channel, Tammy's channel. If you like DIYs like these, I suggest this video right here and this playlist, and stay safe until next time. Bye.